where we aren't entirely sure whether we should continue using caps because it's changing the pitch, like boom whackers, if anybody's ever played with a boom whacker, or whether we should use cardboard. So we're going to try both and see what happens. We're probably going to end up going with the caps simply because we've got them attached to a few of them already and they're a pain in the butt to get off. So Pond has finally cut it out and masking taped this one. We have a cap on this one. Now, the one with the cap on it is supposed to be an A, and the one with the masking tape is supposed to be a G sharp. As you can see, it's a G sharp, kind of. This one, despite the fact that it's supposed to be an A, it's a G sharp, but it's a much louder and bigger sound. So we've come to the conclusion that we are going to use the caps, but we're going to adjust the tuning ever so slightly as we go along. Anyway, our tubes, we've got them laid out because we're making two sets, one for each of us to play. Yeah, so this is me separating the tubes. So I have a full set of tubes here. Trusty hammer and a cap. What you do is you stick a cap on the end. Well, kind of push it on the end. That doesn't really work, so we just kind of twist it on there just to get. Ow! I got it! Pond is trying to teach me how to do it. There we go.
There you go.
You get it on, and then take it, hammer, and you have a cap. I think it's supposed to be C because it showed up as B flat, and our other C showed up as B flat too.
Oddly enough, it's going the opposite is what it's supposed to be. Because the long ones are supposed to be the low ones. Oh, okay. And the high ones, the small ones, are supposed to be high.
When it's low, it's an E flat. When it's high, it's a B flat. Probably should have written on these beforehand.
Yeah, don't put more on yet.
So we're labeling them in quotations because they're not coming out the way they're supposed to. This one isn't on straight. They're not. What? They're not the same. Hammer that one. I think they need to be hammered top and bottom. I've only been hammering them one way. That lid went on a lot. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. Earlier in this video, we were testing out whether we would use a cap or we would use the cardboard. However, we found that the cardboard didn't really work and it left it kind of airy. So, we are going to demonstrate the proper hammering procedure as Pond is demonstrating, and I am also demonstrating. You have to push the caps on, and then you also
hard to get up.
They are. And some of them you have to kind of twist on. They're a little weird. And then you have to hammer it from both ends. If you don't do this, it doesn't seal properly, and then the pitches sound a little weird. This one is supposed to be a B. However, we found that our chromatic scale went from B to B as opposed to C to C, like the instructions said. So this is actually an A, but we put the B in brackets because it's all relative. Nice clear tone. So I'm going to twist these on and give them to Pond to finish hammering. Another thing that we are working on right now is attempting to figure out how to get them to stick together. Because if you hadn't noticed, These caps stick out kind of far, so getting them to be together to a point where we can blow in the two holes is a little difficult. Ow! Also, when doing this, please be careful because the edges, unfortunately, are sharp.
You gotta sand them down still. Well, file them down.
Yeah.
So it's important to have a file.
Once you've got all the caps hammered on, it is a good idea to go through all the tubes and just make sure that they make a half decent sound. So, here's me just going through a whole bunch of our tubes. With the longest tube, if you don't get a sound right away, that's an embouchure thing, and that takes a lot of skills.
We do not yet have.
It also takes a lot of air to use the bigger tubes. You want to make sure when you're doing this, you breathe with your diaphragm. We will actually have an entire video about breathing properly and how to make your face do things.
Yes.
Alright, so they all sound good. They're not necessarily in order. So we've got the caps on, and we're ready to figure out how to glue them together.
Yay!
Woo.